Oh,
Go ahead.
no. Don't record this.
I'm turning this off.
But yeah, gotta get me a shirt. Gotta get me a shirt.
But I'm gonna ask this morning. I asked everybody to get their hands on these business cards. Urine therapy does body good. Shivambu.org. They're really cheap. Buy a bunch of these and give them to people. Put them on bulletin boards. Let's get the word out. And I'm passing these around the United States. Everybody wants one of these. Just give me your mailing address and I'll send one out to you. Since I figured out how to do see, Matt got one. We figured out how to do 2-cent letters in the United States. Annie, this is so cool. We found the 1863 U.S. Postal Service law that says anybody has a right to mail a letter from a person to a person for 2 cents per half ounce. And I've been mailing these all around the country for 2 cents.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the law and finding little ways around,
All you need to do is basically get this code, and I can get it to you. That's the code that goes right by the stamp. And on the bottom of the address, don't put the zip code, but put the words zip exempt.
Oh.
All right. I'm not being anti-government here. I hope the robots are not watching here. They're not on our side anyway, so it doesn't matter. So good morning, everybody. Take one of these. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. We're involved with this eternal now time. We might as well have the good time. And let's bring Guptas. Can you hear us?
Yes, now we can. Can you hear us?
Yeah, just fine.
Okay.
Just fine. Everybody take a deep breath. Take another one. All right. Did everything just fall off your shoulders just now? All right. You're free to play with us now. So welcome this morning. I was going to mention some of the superstars. You guys know the etiquette of doing our Zoom calls, right? Raise your hand when it's time to talk. No eating in the room. Annie, no levitating. No levitating. We want you on the ground. Zach, hold her feet down. Hi, Darlene. Welcome to the call. And Maria Boulder. Birdler? She just joined the call. Well, some of the superstars, I just want to mention some of the superstars and some of the big names that are being associated with urine therapy right now. I posted a clip from a recent interview with David Wolf. Anybody heard of him?
Yes.
Right. David Wolf is interviewing someone who called me, who's aligning with us really well, is Dr. Edward Group out in Houston. And David Wolf came out and said he'd been doing urine therapy for 30 years. I'm going, wow, this is the first I heard about it. I've known the guy for like 28 years. So, and Jason Shurka, he did a video on urine therapy. You heard of him? Big freedom fighter. So
he's the guy with the locks, right?
Oh, he's clean shaven.
Not the guy who David interviewed. Who is that? I've seen his face all over.
You're talking about Troy Casey?
I'm sure I am, yeah.
He's also known as a certified health nut.
Yeah, I'm just referencing the video you were talking about with avocado.
Okay, yeah. That one, the clip of it is at the Shivambu hut. And we do have the link to the entire interview if you want it. Just reach out to me. So some of the other superstars are Kiki Antonito out there in Florida. Matt knows who she is.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, we had a lovely talk. Devin Airbender, Tuche, Matt Sena, Harry Matadine, Dave Phillips, Annie Nell. I had to throw her in there. Troy Casey, Dr. Rosalind Hansen, Dr. Radshak Malota, Doc Mike Whittord, Shivambu, who's a new teacher out in Florida, Natalie Foltz in Minnesota, Darlene Tehan, who's with us, and Lee Sampson. You guys know who some of these people are? We'll get to know them. We're at a major tipping point right now because more and more people are helping spread this word. And the folks at Shivambu in Boulder, Colorado are building this infrastructure so that everybody can reach out and communicate with everyone on the planet and we can see where we're all hanging out as well as teachers like Darlene and other people that are being listed in the Water Family Directory, like this dude from New York. And this is going to be great for people either in your city, in your country, or someone going, I just want to talk to somebody who's out there in Canada, like that girl right there. And you'll be able to do that. So anybody want to do a communion? Did you bring a spot of tea? A spot of pee? I just love to pee in your presence. It is so much fun just to pee myself. You can tell I'm serious about controversial subjects. What you got? He's got a chalice. Oh my goodness.
And so I've just been putting it all in the enema supply. So I actually don't have anything that I really want to put in the top end right now. But this is extra sacred, I swear.
That's okay. It does the job. Indira.
Yeah.
Indira, can you hear me?
Yes, right here.
Sweetie, would you be so kind as to give us some kind of a prayer with our communion?
Okay.
It can be a blessing, a prayer, whatever you got.
I'm going to give one Lakshmi puja for everybody. And, you know, there was 2 days ago, it was the most glorious full moon of the year. It's called Sharad Purnima. And it is beginning of the Indian celebrations of the Diwali, New Year, like a whole month of, it is already last couple of weeks, it's been celebrating. And the 4th of November is the Diwali, the festival of lights. And 2 days before that, there will be Lakshmi Puja, invoking the goddess of prosperity. So we are very close to it, and I will be doing that one chanting for all of us. So please concentrate on the words that I'm reciting. And we are all included. At the end, I will be saying all the participants are included. So close your eyes or open, keep your eyes open, doesn't matter. But concentrate on the sound of the words that I am reciting. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. We are doing this Sarvavashya Dhanashankalp Lakshmi Puja for the benefit and welfare of all the participants, for their prosperity, unconditional love, and progress with Shivambu. Hari Om Shriyam Ayam Gliyam Shambhum Chandra Lakshmi Namaha Kram Kriyam Swarna Lakshmi Namaha Van Sang Dangring Veera Lakshmi Namaha Om Ham Sarvabhagya Lakshmi Namaha Navum Mavum Nadvadu Tagya Surya Lakshmi Namaha Devavasya Bodhavasya Logavasya Rajvasya Janavasya Purushvasya Strivasya Putrasambadhavasya Nagaloga Tundagra Sarvajiva Pranigulum Unvasamanar Pol. All the participants Vasamagavasya Vasya Om Swaha. By the grace of divine, we may enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, happiness, wisdom, and peace. Rain may pour on all parts of the world timely and sufficiently. Food grains may grow abundantly to the satisfaction of all living beings. Leaders of all nations may progress in spiritual knowledge and do good services to the humanity. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Shanti.
Be blessed. And Brother Sage has a copy of this chanting that with the meaning what we have recited. Brother Sage can send it to all of us. Will you?
Yeah, just remind me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
All right. So let's do a check-in. I'd like everybody just to tell us who you are, where you're located. That's optional if you want to be off-grid. Where you're located and your experiences that have been going on right now with practice, your urine therapy practice, and anybody you might be introducing this sacred practice with. So let's start off with Zach and Annie.
Hey, yeah, I'm Anay. This is Zach. We're currently in Oregon. yeah, I took a break from urine therapy for a while, but I'm back into it, you know. So I've been massaging it into my hair and putting it into my bath and drinking it, and I'm sharing it a little bit here, mostly online, but I'm looking forward to sharing it more in person and talking about ways that I can go about, you know, getting them into it more and overcoming things like, oh, but surely it's just a waste product, you know. So
And I'm learning about it more, especially with her. So I'm just curious and here to listen and hear what you guys have to say.
Well, you got a great teacher with you, Zach. Pay attention.
Oh yeah.
So, Annie, get back to me privately at some point, and I'll teach you how we're doing this publicly, public open discussions, and how to help people cross that threshold of their negative association. Because once you bring out the fact that they didn't do any research and they don't even know what they're talking about, all they did was repeat what someone told them, they don't have an argument, a strong argument.
yeah.
Let's go over to Matt.
Hey, I'm in New York City. I'm transitioning into like really working my life into healthcare, well-being, and away from acting dreams. And this community has helped me do that. And I got really into my health journey starting with fasting, and then it was a bunch of different diets, and nothing worked. Really, like satisfyingly, nothing worked. So like in a deep sense, nothing worked, because many different things did work to a greater or lesser degree. But I kept trying different things because I was looking for something, right? And then urine therapy just like filled that niche. And it was probably like a hydration thing. You know, I was never really getting my hydration on point until I started using urine therapy. So yeah.
Well, I want to add something to that and then pass the microphone over to Darlene. I quit the American way of living and thinking and dressing back in '77 and dropped out and joined a raw food community in Austin, Texas called Green Life. Our teachers and mentors was Dr. Ann Wigmore and Victoria Skovinskas. Do those names ring a bell? Our other influences was Dr. Gabriel Cousins, Dr. Other doctors, I'm getting lost track on that. But the whole idea was you go raw, you change your diet, change your lifestyle, do some fasting, get some enemas going. But we were a bunch of hippies experimenting, so we really didn't have a strong, solid role model. So I went from that to being out in the world trying to do my raw food thing, and there was no support structure. So it's very difficult to maintain a lifestyle, even if it's urine therapy, unless you have a support group. And now 30, 40 years later thank you, that was my Bible.
This, I bought it in 1983 in Los Angeles. And this guy is still alive.
He's still alive.
He lives in Costa Rica.
And he's
still active.
He's still doing yoga and he's doing reverse upside down swings.
Yes. Okay. So this is the Bible. Yes, it is.
That was my Bible. But what you have to go through, this could be true for people doing urine therapy. You have to go through all your addictions to food. You got to go through all your emotional responses to food. You got to get freed from food slavery in order to be a raw foodist, in order to be a fruitarian, in order to fast on Shivambu. There's this unconscious program that's running around that slows people's process down. And so when you can speed that up, particularly if you have a support group like we have, that really helps the process and the momentum of what you're doing. Yes, Indira.
They say that it takes more energy to digest the food when you eat. It takes more energy to digest than 2 miles of running or having sex or whatever you call it. So think about it, that meet the system halfway, so it is the food that you eat is digestible very easily. You know, that's my input.
Well, I've taught for years that the 2 reasons people get sick, it's either what you eat or what's eating you. So let's hand the microphone over to Darlene.
Hi, I'm Darlene. I'm a naturopath. So I've been in the healthcare for a long time, and It's funny because I learned about urine therapy years ago, but it just didn't quite click at that time. And I did all kinds of fasts and all kinds of, different ways, just like Matt, and, helping other people do fasts and cleansing and getting them healed with herbs and different things. But, in this last couple of years, I've hit hard into the urine therapy, and now I'm working on my PhD on urine therapy. So, the results I'm finding are just amazing, and it's really great to see what's coming out of it. And so I finished with Richardson part of my study. Now I'm compiling data, and I'm excited. So it's going to be good.
We're excited for you. Can't wait to see where it takes you. McLean, I would love to hear you check in with what's going on with your journey.
Hi, everyone. I'm continuing just to be healthy. My latest use of urine is to put it in my water pick, and it's been great. I use it on my toothbrush anyway, but having it in my water pick has been great. And I just took a picture of my water pick and put it in the newsletter under the pictures of protocols. So that was fun. And otherwise, my cousin from across the country was just here who also does some urine therapy, and we went over protocols, and she had a cut, and I showed her how to wrap a bandage that, she could make out of cotton. And I don't know, it's, part of my daily life, and I'm grateful for it. I've been doing it. I was just trying to figure out if it was 50 years yet. So it's been a long time. And I use it in general, like Matt was saying, and, my shower and on my skin. And I have wrinkles. I get wrinkles. I don't know if you can see. I don't know that you can keep wrinkles away, but I feel like my skin is great, and I don't know, I'm happy.
Well, thank you, McLean. How many of you noticed that there is a radiance about you, that people have said, McLean, you radiate. I don't know what it is. Are you drinking your pee? Like, what's your secret?
Right. They certainly say it about my skin.
Yeah, I believe it's getting thicker. My skin, really does feel, you don't realize how, when with aging, how the skin thins until you feel it go in reverse. And then you can really feel the difference of the thickening of the collagen, and the cells seem to be tighter together. And there's just not that thin, wispy, aging of the skin that happens.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. And when I was young, I didn't know anyone, and I just was making it up, and I knew it was good topically, but I don't know, I was young, and I didn't think I'd ever get wrinkles, but I was busy doing life. And, I'm older, and I got wrinkles, and it seems harder to make them go away, although I don't mind. I feel like it's the same thing with my hair. I love my white hair. So I don't know if I always say to younger people, start doing it now, because reversing it is another story if you're interested in reversing it. But yes, my skin, aside from sort of, some lines, my skin is great. So
how's your energy, and how's your sense of humor?
I think my sense of humor is good, and my energy is great. And, I love urine therapy. I love practicing it. I sometimes, my mom had great energy. I had a partner, and we used to say her mother came home from, I don't know, shopping, and had to take off her shoes and rest. And my mother came home from working at 70, 75 in heels, and, made full course meals. So, I have good energy. Is it from the urine? I don't know. I know people say it's great. I know people who I hear it online.
So McLean,
Yeah.
I want to open this up to everybody. about people coming up to you and asking you if urine therapy is good for whatever their specific illness is. The other day, I got a woman who's saying, well, my mom is dealing with RH blood. It's a very rare blood type, and can urine therapy help her? And I don't even know if she's able to urinate or will let me da-da-da. And we had these lovely talks, and I said, it's a universal panacea. You can apply your urine on her, or she can drink your urine. And she says, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then she brings her mom on a speakerphone and says that's what they did, and her health starts to improve. So you might want to consider that when someone says, is it good for diabetes and cancer and AIDS and COVID and on and on and on the list goes. A good answer that I've used for years so that we don't get in any trouble is, hey, I don't know about that. All I know is that when I drink it, I feel better. Or when my friends put it on their skin improves.
Right. And when I've noticed in the study, like I have 14 participants that were in my study from all backgrounds and ages, and, they, with different issues coming into it, but all relatively in fairly good health, not on a lot of medications, and they've all improved in different ways. So because we're all biochemically individual, what one person needs to improve on is different than another one, but it seems to have all the nutrients in it that will heal anything that's going.
Right, and Darlene, won't the body put the healing effort towards one area or organ system at a time?
Well, generally, and this is why in my particular study, I directed it towards the liver because, the liver seems to take the brunt of all our indiscretions over a lifetime and everything we've been exposed to. And, if our digestion is poor due to anxiety and stress, then the liver takes the brunt of it, Liver is a source of anger, so I directed it towards the anger because I figured, if I could heal that, then it would snowball in the right direction for whatever part of the body needed to be healed.
I'm sure that's, why I'm such a fan of enemas, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, are you still doing your enema marathon? I had told Matt I did a 2-year everyday enema marathon, and I was wondering where you're at with that.
I've been doing coffee enemas nearly every day for 2 years, but now I'm transitioning to my aged urine. So y'all probably remember that I was setting up a urine tub, and that was a fantastic experiment with really good results. And I think I did it long enough to see some real results. Cheers, Anja. And the thing was that, the smell caught up to me. Now, I had some roommates that were fine with it, and I think I was keeping it under control. I got a really picky roommate. So it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. I had the picky roommate. It just got too sketchy. Anyway, so try it for yourself, but do it outside or get a sauna tent and put it in the sauna. Like that was my idea, and that worked really well for containing the smell. And there's some videos on my YouTube channel about this. But to get to Sage's question, I've now put the tub into water containers and I'm using it as my enema supply. So I have I have a lot of really hardcore aged. Also, bathing in it sped up the evolving process. Like it got darker because I bathed in it. I'm sure of this. So that was really cool.
Now, is that still in the near infrared sauna?
I got rid of the whole sauna thing because I wanted to be able to move. I want to be more mobile. There's a bit of a hasty thing, but I don't know. I get weird about energy in my room and like how I want things arranged. So I'm now just working on setting up the sauna on the wall and not having the reflective paneling, which means I'll just have to spend more time in front of it, to get the sweat, which is fine.
All right, you're going to get your creative juices flowing one way or the other. I know.
That's right. Thanks.
Anya, we'd love to hear from you and tell us what's been going on with your journey in the last couple of weeks.
Hi everybody, great to be online with you again. Yeah, I've been traveling and what I do when I'm not at home, or what I did over the last couple of weeks, I drink as much as I can. Like in the morning I'm looping, and then at one point I started to eat. And since I'm back in my own space now, I was inspired by you, Brother Sage, having a foot bath yesterday, which was lovely. And then also, I saw the urine was getting more dark. And beautiful, thank you very much for uploading this interview that you did yesterday with that Wolf guy. And I forwarded it to a person that I help working in his naturopathy practice, natural hygiene practice. And he clicked on it and he said, cool, I'll use it for enema, because he felt so far that it's not so drinkable. But I got him with the enema, and that was cool. That was a good success to get somebody like that on it. Darlene is smiling. And yeah, all good. So I'm back into rubbing and indulging more in my juices now.
Thank you. Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Now, if everybody's here knows, you guys all know about the Water Family Directory? Of course you do. The guys at Shivambu are putting together a list of where you can find every urine therapy teacher and therapist on the planet. And those that are willing to put in contact information are telling the world they're willing to help. Anybody who needs some help in their journey or some help in becoming a better teacher, this is what everybody's doing now. Vijay and Indira and I and Christopher McCore and now Matt and McLean, we're kind of like at the head of the movement. We can see where this journey's going, and it's been a joy to build infrastructure and networking and the Shivambu hut and do things so that everybody can see this as a real deal. We're in a movement. We're changing the paradigm and tipping the have we tipped the tipping point yet? Is it totally acceptable yet?
Yes.
All right. That's why you guys, we need you to put the word out. And did you catch the video of me down on Pearl Street Mall doing a public discussion of urine therapy? It's at the Shivambu hut. I can always get you the link. I was out there with Lisa Temple, Borja, and Kelly. Kelly was filming. We had 35 visitors who came up and says, what's urine therapy? And had great discussions. Some of the people had been practicing. Some of them were obnoxious as hell, but I had a great time with them. The guy comes up and he says, well, what's urine therapy? And I said, well, can you keep an open mind? Because you'll need to hear this. So if you want to know how to take it offline, love to talk with you guys.
And you're going today, yes?
Well, right now the weather is windy and I don't even know it's going to hit 60 today. So I'll know in the next couple hours. If not, I'm going to go see the Guptas over at the farmer's market.
Yes. Woo-hoo. I'm thinking to request the universe to have some sun come out and just be warming up the area, because everybody would love to have some sun when the farmer's market is going on, So let us hope so. And we are going to meet some friends from Chicago who are visiting right now, and we are going to have some, maybe discussion about the new book that has just come out. It's called Redefining Physics.
Got it.
It's
right
available
there.
on Amazon, and we know the authors for more than 2-3 decades, and they have proposed this new approach to understanding what is the origin and creating equations going from Newton to Einstein's theoretical framework, and how the consciousness is missing out in this. So one has to understand with the consistent theoretical framework.
Indira, what's the title of the book again?
Redefine Physics, and I will bring it how it looks like. Just a moment.
Redefining, not reframing. Yeah.
Now, Indira gives me projects. She gives me assignments and projects to bring out to the urine therapy world. Whether I'm ready or not, I'm working on another.
Physics redefined. Physics redefined.
Physics redefined. Okay, thank you.
And it is like it will open you up to a new approach to understanding the science, what Einstein did or Newton did, and what India's knowledge, the wisdom, the deep understanding of Brahman is how it can be shared with scientists with a different light. So as you are saying, open mind, I think that can be a platform. Thank you.
I want to know if Matt and Annie could possibly hack into mainstream media or emergency broadcast system and do a announcement that says urine therapy is the answer to COVID, and then go off the air. Can we hack?
Um,
That
Can we
would
do
be
that?
cool.
I'd have to give me money so I can go to dinner with some old friends and see if I can get them to do it. But it had to be a lot of money.
Yeah, you may have to change your identity and leave the country, but it would be worth it.
I grew up in a wealthy enough area to where I have friends who are, going deep into the deep state now. They don't pay shit attention to me anymore, but man, it's going to be fun to talk to them one day.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about that in private anytime. Anybody want to add something about what they're discovering about discussing urine therapy with newbies? How's it going out there? Are you introducing this to new people?
Oh, yeah. So one guy at my catering company, I talked to him about a couple different things, and one of the things was zero drop shoes. And so I feel like, he heard about urine therapy from me and he took my advice on something that like met him halfway. So that's building rapport. That's something, maybe as a strategy.
You guys, did I teach you baby stepping, people?
Yeah.
Well, let's go over really quick. A baby step for people who have a wall between them and this healing them. First thing you want to do is have them touch their pee. Collect a little and touch their pee. What we want to do is build a neural pathway to the brain. So we're going to have them touch the pee and ask them, you notice that you didn't get sick or die? And then the next thing, you with me so far? Next thing you want them to do is touch their finger to the pee and lick their finger so they can realize, wow, that wasn't so bad. And then step them into a dropper full and into an ounce full. When you get them up to 1 to 3 ounces, you can cut them free. Anybody else doing that? Or are you just saying, my friend Brother Sage in Colorado says it's cool now, so drink some?
Are you standing next to them when they do it, or do you tell them to do it at home?
It's all different. I had someone I was counseling because she really wants to get started, and she's concerned about letting the word get out to her children and her husband. She says, how do I get started? I said, really simple. I'm going to stay on the phone. You go collect some pee in your bathroom and come right back. And that's how you get started.
Yeah, in my office, when people are trying to heal things, I kind of feel where they're at and say, this is what I've been working on. This is, I'm finding this is healing faster, but you may or may not be there yet. So we can work here, wherever you're at. And, once they have success with one program, then they might have success with another program because they're, more trusting and seeing the benefits and.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's
Darlene, I'm starting to formulate a conference call with Dr. Group, David Wolf, Jason Shurka, yourself, myself, and some other well-versed, well-educated people in naturopathic, Ayurvedic, and a lot of the healing arts to come on and bring this message, to bring all the networks together.
Yeah, I would love that phone call. That would be great.
Yeah.
Because it can reach a wider audience, you know what I mean? It can reach, people that might be on the edge, or people who have never heard of it that might be open. Some people who have never heard of it are open right away, and other people need some seeds and need some, coaxing and some guidance, all depending on where they're at. And, that message that our healing and our perfect medicine is so cheap and so inexpensive, and, you don't need anybody else but you to do the healing.
Thank you, Darlene. And Dara?
I think another way to expedite the receptivity is, suppose like you are meeting somebody, a client or massage recipient or whoever, even on the street. If you think that they are needing some little boost, just meditate on them. Just 2 minutes. Bring the picture of the person and see that you pass a thought, like without any expectations or without any rewards or anything like that, that maybe expedite the process of this understanding, the process in your mind about the Shivambu.
Mhm.
And it will definitely help them to come closer. Your
Yeah.
thought force is very, very important, because it is coming without any agendas. It is coming with lot of love, unconditional love that this Shivambu has behind it, and it will, yes.
That's so great. I do that meditation every night. I go through every single person that I've come in contact, whether it's
Yes.
through, online messenger or in person that's been in my office. Every person I was in contact with during the day, I in my nighttime meditation, I send them out a little bit of love for that communication and whatever it had to do with. And, it really helps create the abundance and creates the awareness and the connection. Because I think those cords, we've been so separated as communities, those cords have been cut, and that sending out that love and that message, really helps, create those those energetic cords.
And think about your own thought force. You see how powerful you are, to create this healing. And, it can be at every level. So expedite the process by meditating on these people, just for 1 or 2 minutes, or bring their picture in your mind and bless, or whatever works. Thank you.
Now we're going to go over to Zach here for just a second. But I want to say that one of the reasons I'm so close to Indira and love her is that she reminds me of these truths. She wants to keep my mind focused on Brahman. So let's go over to Zach.
Hey, I have a question because, I had tried a little bit of urine therapy like years ago. And I think the person that had kind of introduced it to me was really into Ayurvedic stuff. And they had told me that you kind of don't want the first or last part of the pee, that you kind of go for the middle. Is that what truth, is there truth in that, or is all of it good, or is there a better part?
Well, thank you, Zach. You just upgraded right in front of everybody. It was beautiful. Did you see the guy? Did you see him upgrade? Yes, it's true if you follow tradition and superstition that goes back 5,000 years to Dhamma Tantra. Because back then, they equated the urine with a snake. The beginning could bite you, the back could hit you, so that was considered poisonous or bad. And so people who still follow that, that's how they approach urine therapy. But every drop is precious. Since it's so antibacterial, antiviral, antiseptic, and so forth, there's nothing wrong at the first drop to the end of the drop. So that's all in here.
Okay, it's just kind of just in tradition then.
And I'll just add, from a medical point of view, sometimes they want the midstream urine because of some bacteria that might be, you know what I mean? If somebody's got a bacterial infection or something like that, the midstream has less bacteria. But urine is so antibacterial and antimicrobial, it will take any bacteria that's in there and encompass it and put it down into the sediment and clean it up for you.
Okay, cool. That answers it.
And you also,
thank you,
Zach. You also demonstrated one of the Shivambu wisdoms. I've got a chart I'd love to share with you guys. One of the Shivambu wisdoms is Shivambu is an intuitive medicine.
Right.
You're going to get people. I know you're where you are on your journey with urine therapy, but you get to a point where people are going to ask you all kinds of questions that could drive your mind spinning for an answer, and your intuition has the answer ready.
Whatever feels right to you, right?
Yeah, and guide them in a way that it empowers them to learn the same truth. That their intuition and their discernment and their critical thinking is very important to understand how to use it themselves.
Yeah, like I picked up on this practice from David. I'm not sure if this relates, but I wanted to share. I got a spray bottle. I put my aged in there, and up the nose is like a real wake-up call. My God, burns, and then it feels really great, clarity, and but pick that up from him in person. Like simple idea, right? I could have thought of it or heard it online, but really what got me to do it was he let me try his. So that was nice. So there's kind of that like feeling of safety that's like communicated from person to person that really helps.
Well, you
Yeah,
got
isn't oh,
you got it through the collective consciousness over what Indira calls mind mail.
yeah,
It's in your field, and it comes in. You pick up on it.
yeah. So like I'll do it and just watch my face. Like I have to do something like that. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go to
So how old this urine is? Is it fresh or?
It's from my tub collection. So the oldest stuff in there is like, a year-ish. But it's been really combined and hyper affected by various energy fields in my body. And yeah.
And where did you get this bottle?
Oh, it's just I went to the drugstore and looked for a type of like, a nasal spray bottle that has a removable cap, because a lot of those saline ones don't have a removable cap. This one was a saline gel. But what I did was I looked on the cover of the packaging and saw that it had the ridges for the cap. So it turned out that yes, I can remove that. But they were nice enough. Here, yeah, you can open the packaging and see if the top screws off.
You got that?
Probably best to get a cobalt blue one with one of those spray caps. Those cobalt blue guys you can get in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got one right here.
Matt, I had a question for you about up the nose.
Yep.
Megan McDonald and I were having a conversation. She is also a practitioner here in Canada that did an interview with Kate Stillman, one of the Ayurvedic ones. And we were having this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were having this conversation that we noticed in some of our clients that when they do up the nose, large amounts come out the ear of, decalcification and plaque and stuff like that. Have you noticed a large amount of earwax since you've been doing it up your nose?
I've always had earwax issues in my life, so it's hard for me to tell. And I haven't been doing it much up the nose. So I can't really honestly answer your question. But that makes sense to me because of the amount of earwax in my life.
Andira, Anja, you've had that happen?
Anja, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask because Matt is kind of our gadget guy.
Yes.
The other time you introduced that nebulizer and aged urine, and then now this one, and I'm always kind of cheap and best and practical. And what I love to do is like clearing my nose and then nose drinking. Would you say that has the same effect, or would you say that this is somehow more advanced, what you do?
The nebulizer does a totally different thing than these other practices. It gives in my experience, so that's a big claim. And that would be to give a really potent homeopathic experience to the whole body, which can induce hardcore detoxification symptoms at low doses. This is more of a local administration to the sinus passage. I'm not talented and skilled and practiced enough to drink it through my nose yet. But it's really easy for anybody to nebulize their pee and just get sick. It doesn't hurt until you're sick. So that was something I was doing a while ago. It's also not fun to get crazy sick. But here, I put out a video about this before. One of the most important things about nebulizing your pee is to just destroy the germ theory paradigm in your own experience. That's what it did for me. I was like, my God, I'm sick on every level. I've felt every kind of sickness in my life is being experienced right now, including like the neurology, like waking up. My God, like this, and I drink it, right? So there's no germ in this concoction that could have gotten me sick. It just blew the lid off of germ theory for me. Other than that, it's a really miserable way to detox, and I'd recommend just consistent drinking.
Each one of the little devices that Matt uses has different ways to reduce the size of the molecule of the droplets. Like the nebulizer is going to turn it into a vapor-like gas substance that can penetrate even the blood-brain barrier. It can go places that liquid can't go. So each one has a different practical use.
That small particle size, I think, relates to homeopathy and why we're getting this really broad whole body response to the nebulizer. Yep.
All right. Does that answer your question, Anya? All right, McLean?
Oh, well, along those lines, I've used an eyedropper for my nose. So do you think that's different from what you're doing? It's certainly
Oh.
putting it in differently. One is sort of a spray in little droplets and one is, you know, a whole, you know, thimbleful. Do anyone have any experience of there being a difference or?
Yeah, I just feel bad talking about this because I'm just not the longest user or most consistent person. But what we're talking about with the particle size, the larger the particle size, the more local the response. So if I put just straight, liquid up my nose, we're going to get a nice coating in the sinuses, and it's not going to systemically enter the bloodstream or trigger a broad homeopathic reaction on the whole body as strongly as this very micronized particle size with the mesh nebulizer, because the other nebulizers boil, and that's no good. So it's very cool to get this whole body detoxification reaction from just such a small amount of urine, and that is totally facilitated by the extremely small particle size. But aren't the local applications on the head just miraculous? Like, we're getting all this wax out the ears. People's sinuses are so dehydrated. I know mine is, especially from years of smoking marijuana, years and years, like I'm so old, but still, so that the sinuses and that it's important for people.
As well as it's important for people to get off the mucus forming foods, which leads to inflammation. So your friends who still want to justify doing dairy products and meat products and man-made cooked and genetically altered foods have to think about making a change.
It's tough with my catering work, and it's been a real challenge, and I get to really see myself in action there because, I'm working, I'm away from my energy devices in my room, everybody's doing it. And yeah, all those things. So like, there was pizza at work last night, ate some pizza. I can see my face on the camera. I'm a little puffy. There you go. Action, reaction. Yeah.
Well, the purer you get, the quicker you can know what your next state of health came from. Oh yeah, I ate that pizza last night, or a little ice cream, or to switch this and that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then you can clean it up. And this is what I've been telling my clients for years. They said, well, I binge ate last night. I don't normally eat that way, but I went and I ate that way. I said, get over it. Start over.
Yeah.
Make new choices. Don't beat yourself up for very long. All right. Somebody wants to add something to our World Urine Therapy. Do you guys understand what that signifies? World Urine Therapy Conference call. We're doing this for everybody. And this is the 21st time we got in front of the screen. We once had 18 people share the screen.
Well, this gets good views and replays on various YouTube channels. People appreciate seeing the community come together. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. And who's committed? Because you guys keep showing up. I love it. Indira.
How long today we are going to be meeting? For 1 hour?
We're going to be wrapping this up in about 10 minutes.
Okay. Secondly, the thought came this morning, and I shared it with you, but I want to share it with other people, that, there was a Toga volcano about 60,000 years ago. And the earth was covered with ash for like 6,000 years. Most of the life perished, but 1,000 Indians who knew how to breathe, they went into the underground and lived. But I was just speculating that if we have some research, and this is Brother Sage's work, that probably they knew auto-urine therapy, they knew Shivambu. And I think that this is how they survived to really live, So we need some research behind Toga volcano consequences, or how people dealt with it, or what is the facts, what are the facts about the Toga volcano? Anyone can help, that'll be fine. Thank you.
Were they breathing ash, even if they went underground?
Well, I don't think so, because how it processes in the earth, it's like, these volcanoes, they take over the soil, you see, and they're there and it seeps into the soil. So I have no clue how those 1,000 Indians survived,
Yeah.
So it requires some kind of a geophysical approach to understanding how the volcanoes create the air flow, or the molecules give you, something to live for, like breathing. Does this make sense?
It does. And we got a question from Anya at the bottom screen.
Yeah, a question to Indira. Which volcano was that, or where? South India, North India, Madhya Pradesh?
Well, I can work on that, because there was a Dr. Rajaram, who is a University of Chicago graduate. He wrote this book, and he has a reference that I can fish out and let you know. But it could be in that area. So, they survive. But you see, the volcano can be erupting everywhere, but the ash that flies into it was all around.
That's true.
So we don't know, but it could be very powerful that it covered up the earth for 6,000 years. You can imagine anything or everything will die.
Yeah.
But the animals probably knew how to deal with that also, and they may have survived. So we need some more facts, about Toga volcano.
Okay.
Well, did you guys hear about the monks that were at ground zero when they dropped a bomb in Japan, and they walked away unaffected by radiation? Well, later on, they found out that the monks were meditating. And they were in such a vibration, in such a state of being, that no radiation could hurt them.
Wow.
Maybe the guys in India were onto something.
Yeah. Yes.
That's nuts.
What, Matt?
That's crazy. I still use those demeaning words to talk about stuff I'm excited about.
Well, it's a family show, so crazy works. That's a good word.
But also you have to know that the life, the humans continued, and the information is in their life force particles, you see, compacted through how every particle has information, and that information is accessed or comes out naturally when it is needed to survive, you see. So that is one way to look at it, that how this information is coming out all over the world.
I like when you say to survive. That makes a lot of sense to me evolutionarily, that there would be mechanisms in place for extreme survival situations. Absolutely.
Yes.
And
everybody wants to survive.
Well, that seems to be the nature of human beings. Their spirit is wired to stay alive and active. And I think that's what's saving our planet right now, is there's a spirit in humanity that's going to fight anything that's unlike life and love and their freedoms. And so I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad to be on planet Earth right now.
We are too.
We got a lot going for us. If we only keep our focus on our source long enough, then we'll be in a protective shield. If we drink our Shivambu enough every day, that's going to strengthen your life force. That's going to strengthen your field, your aura, your energy field, and also keep you from being emotionally out of balance. It's
also,
I'm preaching. It's not even Sunday. Go ahead.
Also, we are humans. The thoughts creates this chaos. Okay, the good, bad, and the ugly, and the ugliest. But if you keep that understanding, you can bounce back faster than other people, or people who are suffering, or people like have not this bigger picture in their consciousness, in their being. So don't resist. Let the even the ugliest thoughts come, but we will be able to come out with our knowledge, our wisdom, our blessings, everything that we have collected for generations will come to our rescue. So we come out faster from our own limitations as human.
Yes, as well as our own self-imposed prisons and
Yes.
limitations. In closing in our call today, I would like whoever wants to is to share a vision they might have about the future of the Shivambu movement. Where do you think we're going? Anybody have anything they want to share before we go?
Success to the registry of the doctors. I think it's really cool that doctors, therapists, just sharing that with people, I think will be very powerful soon. To be like, whoa, okay, you have not only people, you have people in every state, in every country. My God. So I think that's a great idea.
Indira?
Go horizontal with Shivambu and its benefits for the whole humanity and all life. That's the future. Go horizontal with the thoughts.
Thank you. And Darlene, you got a vision to share?
Yeah, I believe the collective energy is getting high enough that people are going to be more receptive, and then that, you know, it's going to be the right moment that they're going to hear the message, and it's going to be like light bulbs going off, and they're going to be like, yeah, absolutely, and they're going to be ready. And that's what I would like to see, you know, that it's that moment when they hear, you know, that message, whether it's this video, another video, the next video, wherever whenever they're ready, that they're going to hear it and they're going to be like, yes, that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And those that are being called are answering that call. And I see that happening for more and more people. They're going to remember they've been drinking pee for 9 months in mama. They're going to go, wow, this doesn't seem such a stretch to me. Annie and Zach, any final words?
I was thinking my vision for Shivambu would be that it spread so far that it would be like recognized as a public holiday.
I love it.
What would you call the holiday?
Like Diwali festival, you know, everyone knows Diwali around the world, or Christmas and New Year's. So it should spread so far that we have like a public holiday for it. I don't know what we'd call it. We'd open it up and have some votes or something.
And
for next time.
We can have a parade with floats, and on one of the floats is that little statue from France with a little peeing guy.
Yeah.
I think ultimately I could see what you guys are doing and the practice, you know, just bringing more awareness of the need for less in general.
Yes.
You know, be more self-sufficient, be connected to source, and, you know, one mind, and, you know, just like raw food, you know, going closer to the source and being able to supply that yourself is amazing. And so the need for less.
The need for less, and I've been talking with a lot of people last week who are coming to the understanding that if everything you would ever need nutritionally was satisfied by your perfect medicine, you wouldn't have to go shopping for food. You wouldn't have to worry about supplementation, and you wouldn't have to be concerned about dehydration, because you could supply all of that. And anytime you go to the bathroom, why do we still call that? Anyway, McLean, any last vision?
Oh, I love what everyone's saying, and I just that it would equal being a common word, that every Shivambu, urine therapy, that people would understand it isn't a waste product, and that it would just be, you know, you could say it and they'd say, oh yeah, you know, it would just be a household word, household idea, household concept, household use.
Hey, you look like a gal who drinks her pee. I can get to like you.
Oh, you mean the thing that saved the world in the early 2000s? Oh, yeah.
I have to go.
All right, guys. If you have any thing you want to work on with me, you know how to reach me. If you have any questions or concerns about your clients or anything that's going on in your life, I'd love to have that conversation with you.
Doing very well. We are on the Zoom, but we are just finished, and you're all came. What a time.
Last name, McLean, about to close the line.
Tell me your plan.
Oh, okay. Group hug. Blessings, guys. Go make it a great day.
Oh.
Bye.